Hey everyone, Nick from Nick's Crossing here, and welcome back to the train room for another experimental project video. And here on the workbench today we have a really cool piece, and it's called a Jordan spreader. And my goal by the end of this video is to have it running off of this remote right here. We're going to have the fins actually move back and forth as this piece gets pushed by a locomotive. So that's kind of the end goal here. Going to add some sound effects in there, and also want to show you guys the progress that I've done over the last 3 days up here. It's been a slight nightmare, and as I get frustrated, you have to walk away from these things. So here we go with day 3 of this project, guys. So here we go, all aboard. So as a maintenance away employee, I would like to have some pieces on my railroad that represent sort of what I've seen out in the railroad the past couple years, but also have a nice work train that, you know, I can pull with some of my diesels and such, you know, a nice weathered work train. And I picked up this Jordan spreader from Cool Trains not too long ago for a great price. Guys, got to check out Cool Trains. They're in Salunga, PA. Great crew over there. They have lots of really cool pieces from the old stuff, like really old stuff, to some collectibles, models, and into the newer model stuff. So great shop, guys. They're not too far from Strasburg. Go check out Cool Trains. Got this piece home, and I started messing with it, and it's got these spring arms that were original. I'm sure if you guys have had these, they're hand operated, they're HO, except not HO trains. But the hand operated function to me just felt really rigid, and I felt like it was going to break if I were to have these open up and hit something. It's all sprung and all that. So I'm like, you know what? I wonder if there's a better way to do this. And I was going on the Amazon, and I found that you could get a remote that's already programmed to a DIY board, and it's got 4 channels on the board, which I'm like, this could get really dangerous. So right now I'm using 3 channels, and that's basically, the 4 channels are positive, negative, times 4. So that means you get motor movement, so you can get forward or reverse on a motor, or you can get a trigger or something to activate, or some type of relay, and that's what we're doing in this video. So right now I've got 2 motors hooked up to the frame, which you guys will see, and also we have a relay that's tripping a soundboard for just some added ambient effect. So let's get you guys on the platform here, or the desk, show you guys the mischief that I've been doing. I want to show you guys the progress that we made. So these are the fins that are going to be moving in and out in this motion like that. Now, the original Jordan spreader model actually has a hydraulic, or like a faux hydraulic in the back, and this cylinder just moves ornamentally like this in a track sort of thing. Now, I added these extra hooks, which you guys will see where these go during the assembly of this. They hook into our new servos. Now, originally I thought I could use a almost like a linear actuator, but it was a worm-geared, very small micromotor. But the problem was, every time it would suck the fin in, it would actually get stuck on the worm gears. It was actually that small, and then I'd have to like help it out to push it back. So that was a no-go. So then I actually graduated to servos. The servo motors are in here, in the frame. Now, let me zoom in on these guys really quick. The servos are actually for, they're actually for like high-powered hobby motors for like boats and stuff. So these are geared really, really well. They're actually extremely powerful, and you can hear the motors right there. This one's very quiet. This one's a little louder. It is what it is. But what we have here, guys, is that we have 2 servos. They're going to act in a sweeping motion, almost like a cam, to push and pull on these metal arms that I installed here. And thankfully MTH gave us this great hardware to put in another hooked piece. I fabricated this out of like tubular, this tubular steel, added another hook, and then use this bracket that they give you to tie it all down so it is not coming out. You can actually force on it. It's pretty strong. And this is what we'll be using to actually push and pull this way, like this motion right here, using those cams. So it'll be like retracting, then when we want out, I'll be pushing like that and retracting like this. So that's the idea behind the servos. So next, guys, we have our powered trucks. And thankfully, this model came with power trucks, or center roller trucks, because the little cab up here has a headlight, which I thought was cool. It also has a cab light. And there's a power board in there, so it actually brought the voltage down to like, I think 5 volts AC or so. So I thought that was cool. Here's the front plow of this piece, which normally sits like this. And then the cab would be back here. So what I've done is actually using this to hide some stuff. But if we go into the brains of this piece, here's the cab right here. And on the inside, guys, we have a RC board, radio controlled. And the antenna is this little white wire. It's hard to see, but it kind of scoops up. And that's our antenna. And this range on here is absolutely crazy. I tested it all around the house, and I can hear it moving and such in different rooms. So this is awesome. So this board gets power from, this is our little converter board. This goes to our track power. So the track power, we're receiving the center roller wires here. Our ground wire is right here. Converts this to 5 volts DC. Out these two outputs right here, and the main wires go through the frame and actually into our RC board. Then there's another splice I did to power our headlight up here. Then also there's a little cab light that's glued to the bottom of this board here for sounds, so we get a little cab light. Now when this is all put back together, basically this will all be sandwiched into the cab. And then this power board is going to sit outside of the model. Unfortunately, there's no room inside of the cab for that. So it's going to be sitting up front underneath our plow, which it is what it is, guys. And I can paint over this. I can weather it. It's going to hide it pretty well. So I'll be excited once that's done. But first off, let me show you guys how this works. So we give it some track power. And you have a little red light right here, indicating we have power being converted or received. And then we're going to flip on our remote. And we have a solid red light, which means it's communicating to our RC board inside the shell right here. So if I go, this is the right side of the unit. You guys can hear and see this motor right here is moving. So we get right and left. Then our second motor is powered on the other pad right here. So pretty simple. Hey guys, good morning, and this is day 3 of filming for the Jordan spreader. We're actually the 3rd day of filming, not necessarily the 3rd consecutive day, but I've been working on this thing, trying to get it perfect for an upcoming train show that will be at the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania. So I really wanted this thing to have everything, all the bells and whistles added. So what I did was I finally found a soundboard on the Amazon, and this thing's really small, nice profile there, and it's got a battery pack, which is great for testing, got some batteries thrown in there, and these boards are really cool. You actually just erase the sound file that's on here, clear your recycle bin for Microsoft, trash bin for Mac, and you upload your own file up to 8 megabytes, which is pretty cool. And the fun thing is with these is that I like to find audio that's on like YouTube, and what I'll do is actually do like a screenshot or something, record it, loop it over, re-engineer it, add reverb so it gets a little bit of a distance effect on there. And that's what we have here. So right now I've got a sound set that is from an actual Jordan spreader video I found on YouTube. I actually just looped it over and over and over, and that sound file is actually located on this board, and it gives you a USB cord to plug into your computer, and it's very easy. You just upload the file to this. It's like a USB stick essentially. Now what I'm thinking about doing, I was playing around with some acoustics here. On the bottom of the spreader, we've got a really nice cavity right here, and I just have to hollow out this frame a little bit to stick this half-watt speaker that it comes with. And it's actually decently loud, not the loudest speaker. I'm trying to find the best place to put this speaker, And it sounded really good, like right in the middle right here. So I'm gonna have to do some more hacking, I guess, to squeeze the speaker underneath. And then the whole train car here actually becomes like a sound box. So it reverberates and it sounds like a really nice bass heavy sound. This board also gives you a potentiometer to adjust your volume level, but these boards are quite quiet. I wish I could have a power board hooked up to it, but I fried a lot of boards trying to use some of the power boards that I had or the amplifier boards. So that's a no-go. I don't want to fry this board. So we're going to leave whatever this sounds like as is. So I'm going to get this thing taken apart again. I'm going to try to shove the soundboard in the roof here. And either way, I have to adjust this. I noticed that there's a gap up here. So this has to be sandwiched down even more. But when we come back, I'll show you guys what I've done and where I placed everything for the sound. And then we'll get to painting, and then I'll definitely be testing this out for you guys. Guys, so I've got this all torn apart. Of course, it was working before, and now it's in pieces, which is awesome, right? So I've got some track power going to this model. I added a new style cab light. Got this really bright white LED that I glued on top of the soundboard. It's all insulated, it should be fine. Then right here we have our speaker, and then I've got my remote in hand. I've got the sound module hooked up to this down arrow position on the remote. Up doesn't do anything. So the other boards I was working with, up and down, would trigger the soundboard, but because of this, it only triggers going basically going down on here. So let's hit it. And there you go. The only thing I need to watch out for is that this is giving out motor output. So I'm not going to sit here and crank on this poor soundboard. I don't want to short anything out, but it is closing the circuit, and you guys are hearing the speaker rattling. It's actually pretty loud. I'm hoping once we get it enclosed around the model, it should be a lot louder. But I did, I re-downloaded the sound file to be a 4-minute sound file at 7.8 megabytes, so it's like right at the max. So this is an 8 megabyte memory board that's on here for flash memory. So we're at the maximum amount of sound. So really, you could go about 4.5 minutes of sound, which is awesome, which means in 4 minutes time, I won't hear that refresh rate. So I won't do this basically. And then you'll hear that like just pause in the sound file. So every 4 minutes, you'll hear that very minute pause. So this is all good to be put back together. I have to wire our speaker to the bottom of the unit here. I got to drill another hole, and we should be good to test on the platform. Using the Dremel tool right here, I was able to build a cavity right in here for our speaker, and we're using this speaker that came with the recording board. This is I think it's a 1/2 watt speaker, and there you go. It sits in there nice and flush. I'll be hot gluing this to the frame once everything is set and done. We'll hot glue this, run the wires through, then we're gonna go up to the cab here to see if there's room for the little sound card that's all the way over here. So I'm hoping this has just enough room for this card, so I don't have any more cards sticking out other than the power board, which I figured out I'm gonna actually cover with a piece of balsa wood. We'll spray paint everything so you won't even see it. It's gonna look awesome. Alrighty guys, so here is the Jordan spreader, and I'm so glad this piece is done. I have so many other projects to work on before a train show that's coming up in just a few weeks. And this is going to be one of my shining star pieces of the show, and this thing has just been so much fun to build. Now, first off, guys, originally I said I wanted to cover up that power board, and check this out. The little power board's in the front, and I put a piece of balsa wood over top, weathered that, and it's totally hidden. Then this little cylinder piece actually sat on the frame all the way down in the front of the front plow. So I cut that down to size and glued it to the balsa wood. So now we get a nice concealed power board right there. It looks so good. Glad that came out the way it did, because that power board flying all over the place was an eyesore. Now for weathering, guys, first I did my rust detail and then all this silver metallic color on the side to simulate that it's worn down metal from pushing ballast. Now, the metallic silver paint that I used up in the front here and all that, that is from Testers. And then the rust color is from Microlux Brush On series. and I've used them several times on the channel. They're all great paints. Then the overcoat over everything is a Microlux Grimy Black. Then also mixed in their concrete to give it more of a lighter color, so more of a dust, not so much a coal, coal dirt. A couple things on the roof and all that. Everything's been sprayed down. And then even the little fuel tank in the back. The wheels and all that just have some surface rust on them. And then the reddish rust you're seeing is just a brush-on weathering powder. And then I quickly went over with a very thin coat of grime to seal in that weathering powder. But yeah, it looks great. Weathered the couplers and all that. And just so glad this piece came out on, how it did, basically. So let's fire it up. So we have the sound card that's now added. And we activate that by hitting this down arrow on our remote. And there you go. We have generator sounds, like a hydraulic pump running. And we can bring our fin out. Or push it back in. And then same with the other side. It's going to run into my G5 that's right there. But yep, you could sit here and play with this thing for hours, and I absolutely love it. And we got a couple different steps too. And the range on this is about 120 feet, I believe, from the Amazon listing. So yeah, there you go. And it rolls really nice. And there you go, now we're spreading material. Alrighty guys, so what do you think of the Jordan spreader? And guys, this has been my favorite upgrade I've ever done, but also the most difficult upgrade I've ever done to any piece in my collection. Even though they're inexpensive boards and such, I didn't fry any of the main boards, but I will say that from a fabrication standpoint, this was definitely a challenge, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it. So hopefully you guys are encouraged to go out and do your own thing and try building something similar and, get inspired to mess around with some electronics and such. With Amazon out there, electronics are still fairly inexpensive. Like this kit with the remote was like 15 bucks or whatever. I'll throw that down in the description of this video so you guys can automate some stuff on your layout. But anyways, guys, if you're new to the channel and enjoyed this video and content similar to this, make sure to subscribe, leave a like below. Also leave a comment, guys. Love reading those comments. Till next time, everyone, happy railroading. We'll see you next time. See ya.